Good morning, guys. So today I'm going to be talking about divorce and remarriage. So first of all, there's been so many concerns about divorces and remarriages, and no matter what view one takes on the issue of divorce, it is important to remember that in Matthew 19, verse 6, it says, "So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate." So, according to this Bible, marriage is a lifetime commitment that God created for male and female. God realizes, though, that marriages involve two sinful human beings and that divorces are going to occur. In the Old Testament, he laid down some laws to protect the rights of divorcees in Deuteronomy 24, verses 1 through 4. Jesus pointed out that these laws were given because of the hardness of people's hearts, not because of such laws were God's desires. So the issue of remarriage after divorce is addressed indirectly in 1 Corinthians 7, verse 10 through 11. To the married I give this command, not I, but the Lord. A wife must not separate from her husband, but if she does, she must remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband. A husband must not divorce his wife. So the biblical rule is that there should be no divorce, and if a divorce does occur, that means no remarriage. So the thing about it is today is that there are some people who are asking and curious about what are the biblical grounds for divorce. So we have two possible exceptions, which Paul addresses in the same context. A believer is abandoned by an unbelieving spouse, which they are not bound, which says in 1 Corinthians 7:15. And Jesus says, except for sexual immorality in Matthew 5, verses 32 and verses 19 and chapter 19 verses 9, excuse me. So depending on the exact meaning of bound and sexual morality, there may be some cases in which remarriage is allowable after divorce. In 2 Corinthians 7, Paul's argument for the unbound condition of believing spouse is based on who leaves, which is the unbeliever who abandons the marriage, and the believer is an innocent party. So we take a closer look to Matthew 5, verse 32 and 19, verse 9. The phrase, except for sexual morality, possibly gives God's permission for divorce and remarriage. Many of these understand this is an exception clause in Matthew as referring to marital unfaithfulness during the betrothal period. In Jewish custom, a man and a woman were considered remarried even while they are still engaged or betrothed. According to this view, immorality during this betrothal period would be only valid reasons for a divorce.